Okay, let me know if you can hear the mic out there. Just testing the mic. 1 2 1 2. Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus and Durable Goods, and welcome everyone who's watching us on YouTube. It's our free YouTube stream of the week. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember that all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully, please. Okay, good morning, everyone. And good morning, everyone who's watching us on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. I took the liberty of typing in the link. If you want to come into the trade room regularly, you could join with us. Okay, let's talk a little bit about durable goods this morning. So first things first, I've got the news that we're expecting. Durable goods is trading by itself this morning. And I knew I was going to click the wrong thing there. So what happens, if you look at the DMM with durable goods, there's a lot of spaces in between the reports. So what do I mean by that, and what's the reason for that? So we have our daily trade report, and if you notice, the daily trade report covers February, and then it jumps all the way back to September, and then June, April, February, March, and April. April traded in a row. What it means is durable goods is a report that very often trades with other much larger, more impactful news. So for instance, durable goods in January traded with GDP. In November, it traded with Thursday jobless claims. December, it was Christmas. So that report doesn't really pay to track it. Its behavior is going to be holiday trading. And that's why you have that skip all the way back to September. In October, it was again with GDP. GDP trumps durable goods. So what we have to do is look at the times that durable goods traded on its own or with small reports and make a decision as to whether it might be worth trading or not. So that's the real big issue. So we traded it. Let's take a look at last month. Now, I've been here for many years, and I've traded durable goods for many years. It's not a big moving report. And you can also, when you read the DMM gives you ideas as to whether a report can be a big moving report. You look at the movement, the spike on the winners. In April, it had one of its best moves. But other than that, it's been 19 ticks, 26 ticks, 23 ticks. You have a bracket, so you have to deduct the bracket from those ticks, all right? Not a gigantic mover, but been trading it year in and year out, and it generally has an effect on the market. So let's see what happened in February. That was the most recent durable goods report that we traded. So that's the first thing that you do when you're trying to decide, well, what are you going to do with a report that doesn't trade every month? Is it just a coin toss, or is it actually maybe a report that you might want to give a shot to? So I'm watching bonds on the right, and we're going to trade gold on the left. Gold has rolled over. You should be on 0624. One negative of gold rolling over is today there is a mixed volume situation, meaning there's still a lot of volume on the 4 contract and there's volume on the 6 contract. So the volume is split. And I'd rather the volume not be split because we want the most amount of orders available for the instrument that we're trading. So I'll show you a couple of things. So first things first, what happened in February? Here's our video from February for durable goods. We have the DMM, and it's really, you know, if you look at durable goods, when it trades, it's had tradable winning moves. That's its history. It has tradable winning moves. So I'm willing to give durable goods a shot in my cash account. Okay. In our previous videos, we can almost always see what our entry was, what our targets might have been if we changed them at all. So let's go to February. And February, what I noticed when I was doing my research for the trade room, February durable goods traded early. The news, watch what happens. It's before 8:30. It's hard to see. The news comes out before 8:30. Our orders were on the chart, but the news came out before 8:30. I was trading the ES on the right with our Top Step account. Now the news is going to trigger early. 1 second early, durable goods came out. It popped right to the first target and didn't fill it. And then it popped up again to the first target, the stop, moved to safety. We trailed, pulled down the second target. Probably could have left it. Looks like gold is pushing to the high for a magnet. The ES, not a very big move. It barely allowed you to get one target. It's not a very big mover on the ES, this particular report. It's not a very big mover, this particular report. You can see the ES was a little bit choppy on it, as was gold eventually. But gold did have a tradable move. In February. Now I'm curious, I'm guessing, without initially looking at it, that on the ES in February, we would have used a pretty small bracket. Probably, yeah, bracket of 6, targets of 6 and 12. I might even go with a stop of 8 rather than 10, if you were interested in the ES. So then you have to go all the way back to September to see if anything happened in September on this report that is very interesting. So we know on the DMM, September looks like a stop out. So we go to September. And interestingly, we were looking at the NQ in September, and not live on this report, probably because the history of not being a big mover. September was a pretty quick whip. In real life, that would have been very difficult to get those orders filled. It would not have filled the way it fills in sim, because remember, in sim, you don't have slippage the way that you do in real life. The NQ had what appeared to be, let's look at the beginning of that move on the NQ. NQ can be traded on many of these 830 reports, can be very choppy also. And you can see that the NQ traded just one position as a test. Again, not a gigantic, blowing, exploding kind of move on this report. Let's look at June. So the thing we know from the DMM is we had a couple of stops over the last 6 durable goods and 4 winners. Now, June, you had quite the bullish morning for gold. And we also had a Canadian report that morning on the right. So again, gold on the left for durable goods, hits both targets. All right, so durable goods looks tradable to me on gold. And like I said, I've been looking at this report, trading it for many years. So let's decide how might you trade this. So I'm going to right click the chart You can click on strategy, click on JOBB. I'm running version 11, still waiting on that final version. It's a breakout trade. And we're going to trigger it at 8. 29, 59 with a bracket of 8. And we've got targets of 8 and 15, okay, on your targets. And you can use targets anywhere between 6 and 20. I think that would be reasonable for this report. The stop is 10. And if it hits the first target, I would move my stop, target 1 stop move to break even -2. And that way, if it does hit your target, the stop will move into a position of safety. If you don't want to move your stop, you can just leave the target 1 stop move alone. Don't type anything in there. Then I'm going to scroll down, go to the label input, and label it gold. And then I'm going to apply it. And I'm going to go up top. I'm going to set the time just temporarily to 0. So we can make believe that the software thinks the time for the trade has passed, so that when I enable the trade in the control panel here, the final step is enable the trade so it's ready to fire away. If my time is at 0, hang on 1 second. I'm having a slight, okay, my technology. Now, that's very strange. Hang on, folks. I have to check something this morning. Bear with me because I'm getting an unusual error. That I should not be getting. So bear with me. I'm going to have to do a very quick reboot of my strategy here. Two seconds. Okay, let's put that in again. Put our strategy in again. A breakout trade. We're going to trigger at 8. 29, 59. We have a bracket of 8. We have position 1 is a 1. Position size 2 is a 1. My first target is 8. My second target is 15. My stop is 10. My target 1 stop move is break even -2. My label is gold, durables. And I'm going to apply it. I'm going to save the template. Durables. Today's gold, GC. Today's date. So I'm definitely having an issue, I believe, connecting to our server. Because when I try to enable, I'm getting an error, and I'm getting an error that that I'm not authorized to use our strategy. Of course, I'm authorized. So bear with me for 2 seconds. I want to do something in the background to see if I can fix this for all of us. So give me 1 minute to just do something in the background. And there is time, so just bear with me. I'm going to just connect to our server and see if something's going on that I can see. It'll take me about 1 minute from now. Okay, so something is going on, I can tell. So in other words, what's happening is when you subscribe to our strategy, the machine ID gets put on an authorization server, and that authorization server is having a problem connecting right now. So it's not able to authorize the machine ID. So I'm getting an error when I try to enable my strategy. Okay. So I can't do anything about that at the moment because I have to go through a whole bunch of tech support with the company that hosts our IDs. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Give me 1 more minute. We still have 10 minutes before the event. I don't want to, it's not an issue, I don't believe yet. Everyone's getting the same error. Okay, so we know it's a server issue. So I recommend that you don't try to trade this. So Sal, what happens is it's inconsistent when it's not connected. So you might still see that everything looks normal, but it isn't. So let me just give it a minute or so. Rebooting is not the problem in terms of your whole computer, but I'm definitely not able to connect to that server at the moment. So let me bring up my NinjaTrader. You know what's crazy? All the years that I've been doing this, and I've been doing this more than 7 years, this has only happened once or twice. And the time that it happened was a couple of weeks ago. So the only trading that I personally do is on NinjaTrader with our software. I don't really have a backup trading system that I use. I don't have another platform that I use for trading futures. So let's see if, okay, right now it appears to be back. So if you reboot your platform, you should be able to see if you have a working system. Reboot your platform, and that'll show you if your system is working. Okay. So I'm going to reboot my platform one more time. So look, it looks like just a temporary glitch. That's what it looks like. Reboot your platform. I would say it's safe to trade. Normally, the worst thing that happens if it's not working is it won't trigger the brackets. That's usually what would happen. It just won't trigger the brackets. Okay, so I'm going to go back in. Going to go back into my strategy, double check my setup, 829.59 on the trigger. Bracket of 8, targets of 8 and 15 with a stop of 10. Break even -2 on the target 1 stop move. I've got my label. Charts are back. And enabling the strategy. It looks like everything seems to be fine now. So I'm not trading in my Top Step account this morning. I'm just trading a regular breakout trade in the cash account. Everything seems to be back. Just make sure you rebooted if you did get an error so that you're starting fresh. And we have 5 minutes before the news. And the news that we're looking at, core durable goods, month over month, February, 1.2 is the big number, 1.2. It's interesting. A couple of the calendars have slightly different expectations. I see on Financial Juice, the expectation is 1% versus 1.2. I think what I'm going to do is just test my brackets one more time. Turning off my trade, putting my time on 0, putting the software on sim for a moment, putting the chart on sim just for a moment, testing the brackets. There we go. Now, at 8:20, the gold market opened. Then it had a very, very tradable open, it looks like, this morning. Going back to 8:29 on our trigger time. All right, watching gold. Gold had somewhat volatile open this morning. It should calm down before the report. I'm just watching ZN on the right, just watching it. Check your time sync, everyone, by going to the website. Time is. This is going to be a morning, right? Where nothing is working perfectly. So my sync is off. So I'm going to quickly use my sync tool, dimension 4, to do a quick sync. Press the now button till I see that the synchronized data has changed, and go back to time is to make sure I'm in sync. And now I'm back in sync. I'll explain how to do that when we're not rushing to do it. If you do have to rush to do it, don't forget that in the room drive, in the folder, in the trade room, on the taskbar, in the trade room, you have that open drive, open file folder called room drive. In that drive are two programs, Dimension 4, D4 Time, and PT Sync, Karen's Time Sync. You can install one of those programs on your computer, and they will help you to put your computer in sync, should your computer not be in sync. So we have 2 minutes to go. So there's a question on YouTube, are we going to buy or sell gold? We're going to bracket gold, put our orders above and below the price, and we will trade the way that we get pulled in. The move caused by the durable goods news should pull us into the market one direction or the other. So we have a minute until the news. Things have calmed down quite a bit in the gold market. Still choppy. It's only a tick. That was a tick. That was a tick. We have an 8-tick bracket. Our brackets will show up 1 second before the news. Here come our brackets. Folks, so I don't have to do anything. My stop is in safety. So only got a small profit. The stop just barely missed hitting that second. Well, we'll look at the video. The stop did not get to the second target. Okay. It just didn't get there. The news was positive. If you notice, it kept us safe from the burst up, the little burst up right on the news did not break through the bracket. Okay. Cancel your trade if your trade's over by unchecking it. Okay. Cancel your trade if your trade is over by unchecking it. Disable it. But we just didn't get a good follow through. So it only hit my first target. That's why I like to move my stop to safety. I didn't have to do anything, and I still had a safe, small winning trade. And we'll watch the video to explain that even better. The news was positive, and that initially pushed gold down. We could be working with the fact, first it popped up a little bit and our bracket kept us safe. Then it had a news move to the downside, which is what I would have expected from good news. Generally, we can see a push down on good news from gold, but we're also dealing with a very bullish situation in gold. And that might have just struggled to overcome a smallish news report like durable goods. Gold, had to move down initially on the open, and gold looks like it really wants to push up today at the moment, right? So it all could be a reason why we didn't get as good of a follow through as we might have gotten. Maybe if gold had been a little bit less bullish today. Nevertheless, we did have a winning trade. And if you're watching us on YouTube, I did put in a link, www.getjobbnow.com. If you'd like to join us in our trade room, learn how to use our software, that's what that link is for. Special offer. If you remove your strategy from the control center, you can see your orders. So we got filled at 1540, hit the first target, 8 ticks, and then it just changed direction. And that's why we didn't make a fortune on this trade. It was not a follow through in one direction. However, most folks should have made one target on that trade. If you were set up similar to the way I was set up, you would have hit one target. Let's take a look at the video. And I want to thank everybody that watched us on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching us. We're going to close out our stream, do a little bit of education for our members. And I want to thank everybody on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you know when we're going to stream again next week. We stream every week. We have a free stream of the week. So thank you on YouTube. See you soon.